Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie. This week's video is a continuation of my curriculum picks for the school year of 2025-26, and I am very sorry that they're late. This is the reason why they're late, is because I did need to rely or wait on others in order to make my plan. This video is going to be a longer one just because I'm having to explain my choices for high school. Homeschooling high school is a completely different bird than junior high or elementary. In both instances, you're looking at your ability to pick whatever you want, and there's no governing body kind of overseeing or questioning your choices. And it took me a while to be okay with being like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing, and be okay with that, because it feels so wrong if you're a rule follower like me. And then it was also just, there's certain things that I want her to get a mark from a teacher. I am their teacher. I have been doing the heavy lifting and the work for a really long time, so don't hear me putting myself down in any way. But in what she wants to go into baking, my grade 10er, and in order to get into that particular skill trade, she needs English 10 and Math 10. So that was what they called it when I was a kid, sorry. Math 10-1 and English 10-1. Stop changing names. I had it. I knew what it was. But that's the level at which she needs. Now, she will do math and English all the way through her high school years. It's just that those two grades need to be more legitimized, I'll say. Even though I don't like that terminology, that's the thing that I'm like, I can point to and say an Alberta approved teacher gave them the grades in this area. So again, I'm not too concerned because I have a few other things, like she'll be doing dual enrollment with a college in town here, so that will prove that she's capable of doing certain things. But because I'm not going for our province of Alberta, I'm not going for their approved diploma and their choices and stuff, I have to walk this line. So that was the reason why, because I needed to have her do online for those two courses. So she's doing language arts this year. But another thing that came up is that when it's just me by myself, I have things picked out and chosen back in December. The school system doesn't operate like that. And so, long story short, I was waiting and waiting and waiting for a schedule. The schedule is still not here, and it's the last week in August. So that's been incredibly frustrating to me, but that's the way they do it, partly because they're wrapping up the year before, but also partly because they're planning sometimes summer school online. And then the first week of September, they're like, okay, and now what are we doing this year? And I'm like, how do you all survive? Like, that's so not me. So this is the list of things that she's doing. There's a little bit more explanation, and I will have videos coming out specifically talking about how I've disseminated some of the courses so that they're not overwhelming. It's going to seem like a lot, and I'm still not 100% sure how it's all going to work out, because there may be some things that I have to kind of adjust depending on how overwhelmed she is. But so the first thing that she's going to be doing is she is going to be doing work experience. This is the paperwork that I got for it. She has to do a workplace safety systems course that will happen sometime in September. Not 100% sure on that either, but that is a big portion. She can get up to, I think It's 25 hours of work experience per credit, and she can get up to 10 credits, I think. So it just kind of depends. I'm not aiming for that. I'm aiming between 3 and 5 for her first foray into the workforce, but that one is one that she will be doing, and she's doing it in the field with a bakery in town here, which is epic and awesome given, you know, just the state of affairs in Canada, that some students can't, or young workers can't find work. I'm like, she's already, you know, kind of set up for success there. I'm doing this as her Bible, and this is informed by her doing exploring world history with Knotgrass. So this is the only Bible reading they have in the second book. I will explain more, but we're only doing the first book this year. But all the reading that they have to do is crazy. And so I figured I would double it up with her devotions in the morning, and she can go through and read, like, some of them are like read Genesis chapter 1 through 4. So she can break it up, and then when she gets to that place in the history program, then she can just review it and not have like so many hours that she needs to catch up. But this one has, and if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I have always had them do a gratitude journal. This has a section for gratitude, and so I wanted to make sure that they can still do that. And I think she'll like this one, because then she doesn't have like, what did I learn? Because she's just like, I don't learn anything. So it's a continued prayer request for me. So this will be her Bible and thankfulness journal. She is just getting to completing pre-algebra. I was told by my facilitator that if you are doing Math UC and you're transferring eventually into the school systems math, it's good to have Algebra 1 already under your belt to get into the Math 10-1 program, so that there's no gaps. And so I don't know, that was just what I was told. So because she only needs technically Math 10-1, she's going to do that in grade 11. So we're going to complete this. We're going to do Math 10-1 in her grade 11 year, and then I'll see how I feel about grade 12 math. Or if I'm just gonna say she's done math, she doesn't need any more math. I'm not sure. We'll pass that, or we'll get over that bridge when what's that saying? I can't remember. Anyway, so because I have like heavy history, there's heavy history in our homeschool. I find great value in it, not just for the social studies component, but also for the life and Bible component of our homeschool. So just looking at how much history I have, and I'll show you later, but I'm recognizing that there's a lot here. Like, she's going to have homeschool hours, she's going to have lots of reading, she's going to have language arts, like we're doing lots. And so I really am just needing to make sure that I don't overwhelm her. So last year I had her do 2 courses on her own. This year I'm also having 2 courses, but I've upped the ante a little bit, and I feel like with this book, Exploring World History, this is the first. They have 2 big textbooks, plus they have, in their words, they don't read this whole thing, they just are told which passages to read. They have student review questions and commentaries on the Bible verses that they're required to read. Plus they have, in this, it doesn't have as many books to read, but she's got 4 books. The one that's missing is The Art of War by Sun Tzu. She's got currently in her room that she's reading over the summer, so that she has less to read right now. Pardon? Sunny. And so this one is The Cats of Babistes. I'm going to say that wrong, but this is one Julius Caesar. She also read over the course of the sunny time, but she can reread it and hopefully get more out of it. And then The Imitation of Christ, and then Sun Tzu, Art of War. So those are her readers at this point. I'm not planning on assigning her readers like I usually do with the Gather Round units, unless I find that she's currently like okay and she doesn't have any concerns or worries. She's also going to be doing a full grade 10 science course, and this is Exploring Creation with Biology. And I was very excited, I found this program with a teacher called Mrs. Fowler on Vimeo, and I will leave it linked down below, but the full course rental is $159 and I can watch every single lesson. So I'm having her watch these videos as well as doing the things. She didn't do that last year when she did Exploring Creation with General Science. She didn't have a video to watch, but I felt like this was important because then she sees the the experiments being done, and then she can answer it with those types of things. So that's like, you're in high school now you get to watch a lecture and do the work that is required for that. Let's see, I have so that's all morning stuff. All of that is her morning stuff, maybe evening or like late afternoon if she didn't get it done, because if she's having to do work experience, she might have to do 2 lessons in one day. I don't know. We're having to play this by ear, which is not my favorite thing to do, but it is what it is. And so I just have to be mindful of like watching the ebb and flow and seeing how it's working for her. So once she's done all of those things, then we're going to do our read aloud time, and then we come together. We come together for our Fix It Grammar. This is the last year that we'll be doing Fix It Grammar because we have that all taken care of. And then I'm also going to be completing our logic course. And I don't know what kind of credits I will be giving for that. It's not even on my sheet, but I definitely want that to be done. As far as our Gather Round homeschool units, at this point I'm planning on doing all of them with her. Again, that stuff I can let slide a little bit if I need to change things up, so I will keep you posted on that. But the first month and a half we're going to be doing Asia, and I had to find a way. So if you've watched my videos before, anytime I've done a unit for the second time, I switch it up and change it up. So I kept that as a regular theme, but instead of my girls building their own teacher guide with the new countries, I had to switch it up, and I will explain more about that in another video. Otherwise, this video is going to be oh so long. So stay tuned if you want to see how I've beefed up Asia for high school. I know that many Gather Round purists would say that you don't need to add anything, and that's fine. For me, I felt like I needed to do it, but this is why she's not going to be doing the whole course of Exploring World History with Knotgrass. She's going to do the next half in grade 11 because, again, I plan to do another one like this. So then she's going to do, just like Sienna, reptiles. We're going to do Giving Thanks from Campfire Curriculums and Christmas Carol over Christmas time. Unsolved Mysteries, that's also kind of a history one. Living Off the Land is definitely a history one. We're going to do the short little Pentecost over Easter. We're going to do the mini unit of Alberta because we live here and that's my Canadian content. And then life skills is how we're going to end off. And that I'm counting as calm. So if there's any like projects or something like that, I will have that one beefed up so that it's calm class. If you don't know what that is, it's career and life management. I did it. But that's another one that Alberta looks at and goes, we approve of this. They don't approve necessarily of gather around homeschool, but I am equating them as equal. And then after Asia, we will begin to do our structure and style, our IEW, but she will only do that until January. So it'll be like she'll maybe do 2 or 3. Asia, I've got her doing several papers, I think 5 total. So I feel like that is a good English for her first semester, and then her second semester is language arts 10-1 with a teacher. So that doesn't even include the history. We're doing story of the world on Fridays. So again, I feel like her history component for the school year is heavy, heavy, heavy. And that's why I feel like it's okay to like disseminate a little bit or separate into 2 groups, not grasses, exploring history. So that is what my grade 10er is doing. If that seems like a lot, it's because it feels like a lot for me too. But I think that I've given her like the positive steps in grade 9 to like succeed at this. I also did something which I'll share in the next video. No, not next video. In a later video, I will show about how I am like giving her the ability to go, okay, this is how I space things out. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.